unlimited division, Joe Buelt of Pittsville, 31-0. His opponent, Chester Nelson of Oregon, 25-0.
Is the Class A champion, and he is a pinner. He has pinned almost everybody he's wrestled this year. He is 6'3", 270 pounds. And look at Joe Buelt psych himself up. 31-0. He has pinned 28 wrestlers out of his 31 victories. Both wrestlers unbeaten. Kirby, this should be a dandy.
I'm glad I'm not in a position, Marsh, to get under either one of those big fellas out there. Haven't put the big splash or ooze move on us. Chester, of course, expected to come in and do a job in the tournament, and in fact he has. Buelt moved in, attempting to get a single leg. And here is where the heavyweights weight bears on this. This is the only class, of course, where there is no upper limit.
Joe Buelt is from Pittsville. He's a senior, coached by Jerry Hahn in his 7th year. And Chester Nelson is coached by football tender at the University of Wisconsin. And Coach Dave McLean is very interested in this young man's ability as an offensive or defensive lineman with size like that. He probably is going to be making an appearance at Camp Randall next fall.
Buelt has twice gone in for a single leg, shooting it from way out with his head to the outside, and of course Chester Nelson has simply countered it by dropping his weight on, and as you can see, he's reaching for a foot, just putting that full 270 pounds right down on Buelt and expecting him to try and hold it that way. Sooner or later he'll work around behind. Now Buelt is managing to lift it up. No takedown yet.
Nelson trying to pull him back on the mat, and Buelt keeping his balance, and Nelson lets go. Interesting strategy. I don't know why he dropped the leg.
I don't know why he did, unless he feels that he his work can get something better.
23 seconds left in the first period at heavyweight. Chester Nelson, he is at the left of your screen. He is wearing Joe Buelt from Pittsville. He now comes around to the right of your screen.
He's been warned for stalling as he continually backs away and backs away. Now he drops in again for that single with his head to the outside, giving Nelson a chance to just bring his full weight down on him.
Buelt tries to turn into him, and we have no points as time expires in the first period.
To move.
Chester Nelson was 7th in the state last year, a 2-time conference champion, a Badger state champ. He's been wrestling for 5 years. And on the other hand, Joe Buelt, also an excellent wrestler, lost to Tim Crumry, who won it last year. And Chester Nelson has a pinning combination.
Got a cradle. He took it right from referee's position. He's done that before in the tournament. Now he's cradled his opponent, Joe Buelt. Referee is showing that we have 3 mat points coming, if nothing else, and when the situation passes. Now there's a minute and 34 seconds to go in the period. It's a long time.
John Shevchik close by, keeping an eye on the action, and Chester Nelson trying to squeeze that. Joe Buelt breaks it beautifully. Joe Buelt, B-U-E-L-T, 31-0, 3 back points for Nelson.
And there they go out of bounds.
Corner of the mat, that's what it is. 3 back points for Chester Nelson, and he will ride Joe Buelt with 1:12 remaining in the second period of this heavyweight match for the state championship.
The further the match goes along, Marsh, the more of that heavyweight will come to bear, and Buelt simply will tire out as he has to carry that much weight around. He's not a light man himself, but he's not 270 by any means.
Oh my goodness, look at that. He lifted Chester Nelson right off the mat. 270 pounds on his back. Whew. I don't even think Mr. E could do that, do you?
I don't think so. Now here we are with Chester trying to get a cradle situation, and we're
potentially dangerous hold, and we will come back to the referee's position with 36 seconds remaining in the second period. 7,407 wrestling fans on hand tonight.
And many of them, as you've heard throughout, is very vocal. Once again, Chester gets a cradle. Now here goes Buelt over again.
Buelt trying to kick out of it with 25 seconds. Back points again for Nelson. as he tries to squeeze it tighter while Buelt is trying to break the hands free.
18 seconds to go in the period. Now the referee, John Shevchik, has given us an indication that there will be 3 points when the situation passes.
He breaks it, but 3 more back points for Chester Nelson, and he leads it now by a score of 6-0. 1 second, that's the end of the second period. 2 minutes of wrestling remaining in these state championships, providing there isn't a complete turnaround by Joe Buelt of Pittsville. He decisioned Steve Lemire of Somerset 9-2 and beat Jeff Steffens of Lancaster 3-3, 6-1 overtime to earn his berth tonight. Chester Nelson beat Mike Teesh of Delavan Darien 3-0 and Randy Gorleski of Pulaski 10-2 this afternoon. And there's a point.
Comes right out to a standout, takes it to 7 now, and Buelt is going to be compelled to start forcing, and he comes in, head down to the mat. Chester Nelson is able to go around behind, and again the weight coming to bear now. Nelson, this is one of the things that Marcia heavyweights have to learn to do, is to make use of what kind of equipment they have. If they are very heavy,
Look at that. Again, he lifts
Chester
Nelson
just to let him lift that weight and tire himself out.
That's very true, Kirby, very true. I think there was an advantage to Nelson that time to have him try to lift that ball 270 pounds.
He'll move around here and attempt to get his cradle again, and the slower that Buelt moves, the tighter he gets, then Nelson will be in a position where he can start possibly looking toward pins. There he is now, just driving it, and again it's his whole bulk that's pushing as he goes. Very often, heavyweights will start trying to get pins right away early on in the going, and often come to grief with a side roll or something. Nelson appears to be having himself very well protected against that. You can see the way his legs are back. He's not taking any chances.
9-0, Chester Nelson of Oregon, unbeaten in 25 outings, leads it with 47 seconds remaining. Joe Buelt with 31 victories, 28 coming via pins, is going to have to rally and turn it around in the last 47 seconds, or else he will suffer the first blemish on his record this year. Nothing to be ashamed of to be the runner-up in the state championships, but with 47 seconds left, let's not write him off yet.
The referee has warned Chester Nelson for stalling. He's not attempting to pin, he's just attempting to ride it out. 38 seconds to go, and now he says potentially dangerous, and we'll put them back in referee's position. Buelt doesn't seem to be about to really do anything to come out from underneath Marsh. He seems to just be content to sit down there. He hasn't really made a half standout move, but Nelson is attempting a cradle, and here it comes again, but he can't cradle with his leg in. Gonna have to get it kicked free.
25 seconds left in this heavyweight match. Chester Nelson en route to a state championship. He is the Class A champion. 10-0, he leads it. 15 seconds remain now.
Stalemate situation, barring something just very, very spectacular on Buell's part. Chester will succeed in riding him out.
A real tribute to Chester Nelson, not permitting Joe Buelt to score a point in this match.
Well, there he gave it one.
Why did I say that?
You did it. You let him, gave him a thing. Buelt isn't even going to go in for the goal. There he comes now. He's moving in, and Chester's getting the 2 points to move it out to 12-1. And that's it.
Chester Nelson, the heavyweight champion in these 37th annual WIAA state wrestling finals. He wins it. You see him as referee John Shevchik holds up his arm. Well, we'll be back for the 185-pound awards and the unlimited weight, the heavyweight awards, right after we pause for these messages on your WIAA network station. The third place finisher, Jeff Steffens of Lancaster. He is the Class B champ, and he is the third place winner. And as we come back to the award stand in the field house, Joe Buelt of Pittsville is the runner-up in the state championships. And he was defeated by Chester Nelson of Oregon, who finishes the season with a perfect 26-0 record. And he is the heavyweight champion for 1980. So that's where we are right now with the individual